Hey, what's up, guys? It's Josh Hart here from HartStudios, Canada. I'm located in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And today I'm going to be showing you how I compress a vocal. This song is called Skeletons. It's by the band Silver the Young. It's actually my band, and we are no longer together. It is the saddest thing ever. So, anyways, I'll play the song, the chorus, anyways, and then I'll dig into the plugins and I'll show you how I compress a vocal. So, here it is.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet. I tell you it's irrelevant, but you're trying to unlock it.
All right, so there it is. Last week I covered how I EQ a vocal, and I used this section of the song also. It showed you how it takes a vocal from being dull and it brings it to the forward of a mix and how it can be heard at all times. And compression is something that also does that. So I'm going to show you how I compress a vocal. I'm going to mute any of the effects going on so you can just hear the dry vocal. And I'm going to take off the compression like I did last week with the EQ. Now there is going to be a difference of volume, so it is a bit misleading, but if you can hear past that, you can hear what the compression is doing. So I'll play it again with no compression and no effects. All right, so as you can hear, I even tried to raise the volume and you can hear compression does a lot. So basically what compression does, the vocal is jumping up and down in volume like crazy. And what compression does essentially is just it evens that out. And what I'm doing here is I'm basically pancaking it, which means I'm taking any dynamic sound and bringing it to the center of the mix so it's heard. All right, so I'm going to dig into the first plugin. It's called the CLA76. This is an emulation, just like the last EQ plugin, of old analog hardware. I'll go over the controls briefly to show you what it means and why I picked this plugin. Just a heads up, I use two compressors on this vocal. It's called a stack method, just to get the vocal at the center. All right, so I'm going to solo at the vocal and bypass and put in the plugin and then explain what I'm doing with it.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet. And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet.
So as you can hear, it brings everything straight to your face, and it brings all the quiet words up and all the loud words down. All right, so I'll go over the controls briefly to show you what it's doing. The first step of the plugin is the input. The more you turn up the input, the more the vocal is compressed. What the output is doing is just essentially even out the volume. So with this style of compressor, the more you turn up the input, the volume is raised. So then you can go over to the output and turn it down to even it out. So with the attack, the sole purpose is to tell the compressor how fast or how slow to turn on. The faster it turns on, the more it clamps down on sibilances and transients. So if you can picture a drum, the faster the attack, the less crack and bang it has. The slower, the more it lets through. So with this vocal, I just left it down the middle. So not too fast, not too slow. That was the perfect setting for this vocal. The release is super fast. I put it to 7. So basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to match the tempo of the song. So once the vocal is done singing a phrase, the gain reduction goes back down to 0 to none. So by the time it gets to the next phrase, it's no longer compressing and it's going with the flow, it's on tempo. So as you can see right here is where the gain reduction actually is. And I'll play the vocal and you can see how much gain reduction is going on in this vocal.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet.
All right, so I'm hitting this pretty hard. I'm hitting it like 7 to 10 dB at times. But as you can see, how I set the settings to a super fast release, this is basically controlling the peaks. It's not really taking the vocal and pancaking it, as I said. That will be in the next step. All right, so that's the 1176. After the 1176, I put the vocal into the CLA 2A. And again, this is another analog style compressor that's modeled off an old analog hardware. All right, so with this is more where I want to smooth out the whole vocal. I'm not worried too much at this point with the attack. This is more to smooth out. So with this plugin, you'll see I'm probably hitting around 2 to 3 dB of gain reduction. So I'll play it with this plugin in.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet.
All right, so with those two compressors, it went from really quiet parts to really loud parts and to now being super in your face, being heard all the time. With this style of music, you can kind of get away with compressing the vocals to hell and back. With something softer, more acoustic, more delicate, where it's just a vocal, maybe an acoustic guitar or piano, you might not be able to get away with it. You can probably hear the artifacts of the compression working more. Again, there's no rules in recording, so you do whatever sounds best. All right, so I'll play the song again. I'll pop in the effects. I'll play it with the compression, and then I'll turn it off. This is a pretty short tutorial this week. It's pretty basic, how I compress vocals in a heavy, dense mix.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet. I tell you it's irrelevant, but you're trying to unlock it. I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet. I tell you it's irrelevant, but you're trying to unlock it.
All right, so there it is, guys. How I compress a vocal. This was a bit shorter, maybe not as prepared. I'm sorry about that, but it gives you the basics of how to start compressing a vocal. These are just the plugins I use, and this is one technique. There is a million different ways how to compress a vocal. So like always, like, comment, make sure to subscribe. My name's Josh Hart from HartStudios, located in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.